Hello and welcome back to Assetto Corsa for another video on the Nordschleife challenge. Thank you very much for joining me in this video, and today we are going to be taking out, as I believe was requested, somebody is going to have to correct me if this is the wrong car, but nevertheless I want to take this car out anyway, so let's see what we can do. We're going to be taking out the 2011 Lotus Exige S. Now, following the Lotus tradition, this is an extremely light car weighing just over 1 ton, I think 1,080 kilograms, which is just shy of 2,400 pounds. So very, very light. However, coupled with that lightness is a supercharged 3.5 litre supercharged V6 engine from Toyota, oddly enough, producing 345 brake horsepower and 295 foot-pounds of torque. All of that goes to the rear wheel, so this is going to be quite an interesting one. I have no idea where this is going to go. I'll be able to tell after the first couple of Patreon practice laps that I do. Just looking at it on paper though, I'm going to guess that this has to be faster than the Porsche Macan. Though I think it is still, because I'm on the because I'm going to be on street tyres, as almost all cars barring the KTM were, I think it is going to be slower than the KTM. What I am also going to do at the end of this video, as well as the standard leaderboard, I did say last week that I was considering another leaderboard talking about which car I prefer, the drivability and just the, I suppose, the entire driver experience, which means that the fastest car may not have the best driver experience, and so I'm going to be adding that table to the end as well. But without further ado, I better get some practice on this. So if you want to see the practice laps, do join me on Patreon, and if you want to see these laps, well, just stand by and you'll get to see them in a few seconds. Alright, here we go. Had to restart the time. I had to restart the session, sorry, because of the lap time being stuck up. The lap time, I was thinking, I have to admit that I got it somewhat wrong, but I'm not going to tell you the lap time just yet that I was thinking. I'll tell you that later on in this lap. If you want to put your lap time guesses down now, that would be fantastic. I'd like to see what you guys think this car is capable of. Bear in mind, this is 1,080 kilograms. This is a V6, supercharged V6. Oddly from a Toyota, yep, used on their pickup trucks, I think, and some of their, I think on one of their MPVs, must be some weird kind of sport MPV, maybe something only in Japan. I know Japanese, no matter what the car is, they like to have good engines, good power, which I think is a lovely thing. But this car is very light and very powerful, not that easy to drive in ways. It's good, it's very good to drive, but it is not as easy. For example, the Audi S1, pretty easy to drive. The Porsche Macan, piece of cake to drive. The BMW M3, fairly easy to drive. This isn't as bad as the KTM. The KTM was not easy to drive at all. This, on street tyres, is tricky, but not impossible. It's actually, I'd say, just a little tricky. So let me know in the comments box what you think the lap time is going to be on this car. Of course, there is no traction control switched on, nor do I have any ABS switched on, so bear that in mind as well. I do tend to drive the cars without those settings. I prefer to have them off to get the most raw driving experience possible. Good change of direction. One thing I really like about this car is it has very, very agile, it just feels very agile, very direct. Obviously the balance of the car is fantastic due to the mid-engined layout. All the power going to the rear wheels though, and because of that the rear tyres do need to of course be fairly wide. You're looking at 205, 45 R17s on the front, 265, 45 R18s on the rear. So nice wide tread, nice wide tyre width on the rear of the car, which gives us plenty of grip. We do have a little bit of front understeer, which makes sense because this is only 205s at the front. Surprising. Again, for a car like this, I find that you would expect maybe 215s, not 205s. Ooh, that's going to slow me down quite significantly. At least I didn't put it into the wall. I've been told on good authority that there is a Nurburgring driver, Misha. He's put cars into that wall before, so I'm not the only one. And if he can do it, then why can't I? Also, I really should not be dropping down the gears and taking it onto the rev limiter unless I want to destroy the engine. Lotus have done a really good job with this car. I'm actually just trying to work out where this is going to sit on the rankings for the driving feel of this car. Where does this car sit on that sort of ranking? I mean, this is a driver's car though. This is very much a driver's car. And being mid-engine, it's just so well balanced. Top speed, it says 170 miles per hour. I'd like to see if it can reach anything near there on this. On the practice laps, it has not, but they are practice laps, and I do tend to go a little bit slower on those. Ooh, okay, there we go. Keep going. Keep that lap in. That's the other thing about this car. You just noticed there when I did lose control. There are opportunities to grab this again. Not a lot, I have to admit. You have to be fairly fast, and you have to be gentle when trying to wrestle a car back, but the opportunities are there. So if you do lose control of this car, it's not quite the end of the world in that sense. A little bit slow through here. Now I have learned that it does not like this corner, and there it goes once again, and there you go. I've learnt twice it does not like this corner, and that's going to ruin the entire lap. Surprisingly, the lap hasn't invalidated itself, but that's the problem that I've found with this car. There are some corners like that one that it absolutely despises. Now obviously the first lap is pretty much null and void anyway due to the way the hot lap works in Assetto Corsa. You'd think it would start when the lap starts, but no, it just starts when you actually load in the sim. Now the lap time I thought this car was going to get was a 8 minutes, less than 8 minutes 30. I was thinking more along the lines of an 8 minutes 20. That was what I thought it would get. So if you've got that, or you're saying something like that, then there you go. I'm not going to tell you whether it got more or less than that, but that was my initial lap time thoughts. Particularly on the street tyres, I thought semi-slicks definitely in my opinion, on the semi-slicks into the 7 minutes. Okay, good power out of this final corner. Now we're already at 7 minutes 50, but But as you can see, we've had that spin, 7 minutes 50, we had the start, and we're on the final straight. So that's just going to give you an idea as to how quick this car could be. There we go. Onto the brakes. You have to be careful here. This is a rear-wheel drive car after all. You do not have that sort of grip available to you to go through some of this. Now with the spin, we've got an 8 minutes 35.47. That's with the spin and the beginning. So make of that what you will. This car is quick. This car is very, very quick. Also, the car can be twitchy. Very, very twitchy. So I've just lost a bit of time there. But that's okay. There we go, just overall just gaining time. That's important. 8 minutes 16 is what it's telling me. Still gaining time. The thing about this car that I've noticed is it does, you do feel where it's getting to being on edge, particularly on these street tyres, and it is a little bit, I wouldn't say worrying. It's just that when you feel it, you know it's coming, and that's something that I just find interesting. But the power on this car is fantastic. With the 0 to 60, you're looking at 3.7 seconds. It is really, really good. Ooh. And I saw that coming as well. That's that lap ruined. It's okay, we're going to do a third lap anyway. So with this lap, what we're going to do is see how we can improve all our sectors for the third. So as you notice, it does not like the grass. But just every other corner is a corner in which you can gain time. Every other corner. Except this one. No, even this one. I do wonder what kind of lap time we're going to get now out of this. It's still going to be below 8 minutes 30, I'm fairly sure of that. And obviously cars like this, I'm learning that these more powerful cars take a little bit more in the way of practice to get used to them, not just one slow lap or one slowish lap and then followed by one fast lap. There is a little bit more that needs to be given to them. And why the car lets go there, I'm not too sure. Okay, it's telling me 8 minutes 22 with a spin. I mean, that's saying something. I wonder if third gear is the right gear to be in here. I've got a feeling it might be, and it is. It is the right gear. Okay. I'm not sure what else to say about this. The colour of the car is British Racing Green. I actually customised the colour. I couldn't find this colour and I wanted a British Racing Green one, so I made a British Racing Green one. If anyone wants to know the code for that, I cannot remember. I think it's 004C25, something like that. Oh, that's... was it 004225? Maybe 004225 for the hex code for that colour. But take a look if you want to paint cars in British Racing Green. That, I believe, is the hex code for the paint colour. Carousel's one of those where once you've got to a certain speed, there's no way you're making more out of it, no matter what you try. It's just not going to happen. So you can see there, touching the curb does end up getting the wheels locking up, so you do have to be a little bit careful there. This car's not... one of the downsides of this car, I think, is it is not too fond of curbs, unlike the Porsche last week, which makes sense, Porsche being an SUV. The Porsche was fairly alright with curbs. This is not. This is not alright with curbs. This is more like, why are you taking me there? So do be careful of that. Now let's see if I can get this corner right this time. So I'm going to have to be a lot slower through there to get the corner right. The car just tends to... the back of the car gets very, very unstable and then just throws you out. Good cornering there too. So now we're looking at 8 minutes 10. I do wonder, is it possible? Is this possible for me to get this into the 7 minutes on street tyres? That's going to be a challenge in and of itself. "7 minutes on street tyres, can I do it?" At the moment it's about 8 minutes 10, and that was obviously with that spin. So did that spin cost me 10 seconds? That's the question. If it did, then the 7 minutes is on. If it did not, we'll have to see. We will have to see. This has been a good lap. Minutes 9. Now I've got to watch this downhill section as well. So the problem is on the Nordschleife, because the laps are long and there's so much on them, you cannot just make a mistake and just recover very easily. It takes time to recover simply because it's such a long lap. That was 8 minutes 10. I wonder. Okay, this has to be the best lap I've done of the Nordschleife coming up. Well, in this car anyway. Given I've only ever done... how many laps of the Nordschleife in this car? 2 practice laps, 2 laps. This is my 5th lap of the Nordschleife in this car as far as I can remember. I do not recall ever driving this car on this track. So there you go. Could third gear be good for this? It actually is. Third gear was the gear for that. Do not mess this up. was slightly slow. Slightly slow. Massively slow. Maybe I should have dropped to 4th there, not what I did. Alright. Car started sliding on me. Come on. There we go. Half a second. Not good. Come on. It was 7 seconds. Oh, this is close. Somehow, can I find 2 seconds? I have no idea if I can find these 2 seconds that I need. Or 2.5 seconds, however much it is. I have to admit, for street tyres, these tyres are doing really, really well. Like, they're very, very good. Nope, I'm actually losing time. I was trying my best to try and gain whatever I could there, but it's not happening. Can I gain here? A little. How's that looking? Still need 2.5 seconds. Where am I going to find 2.5 seconds? How about here? 2.5 seconds here? No. In fact, I'm losing time all through this now. I think I was faster on the previous one. That is a shame. But still, the lap time on this car, street tyres, that is a very, very good lap time. Go on, give me some speed. No, I'm losing speed. Now I'm just pushing the car a little too much, but you never know, there's something. Look at that was a gain in time. Then we lost some time in the carousel. Okay, this section, 2 seconds in here. Is there 2 seconds available to me? That's the question. Do I have 2 seconds available to me on this track, somewhere around this area? Come on. We're gaining something. Really, really pushing. Do not mess up here. Okay, we're good. We're through this section. That's good. That's important. Should have got the apex there. Really messed that one up. 2.5 seconds still. Through the whole thing, it's still 2.5 seconds that we need to try and gain. Do not lose it here. That's a red lap time, but you know what? It does not matter. I'm taking it. Come on, there has to be. What's about right here? 2.5 seconds here, maybe? No, there isn't. No matter where I try, I do not think I've got the 2.5 seconds needed. I might have had 1 second in it, but I think these tyres are at the absolute limit of what they're capable of doing. Now, I think they're at their limit. The entire lap we've been 2.5 seconds off whatever I wanted. That is a real shame. Got the gear wrong as well. But you know what? That doesn't matter because we're going to lose a few tenths. And in the grand scheme of things, that is not a big deal. Two and a half seconds here, maybe? That's as close as I dare cut it. No. 8:02.69. That was the lap time. That is such a shame. That is such a shame. I do wonder if I do a little bit more practice, will I be able to coax a little bit more out of these tyres, just getting those braking points, because I know I was fairly close on the limit with the tyres under braking. I could feel it a few times. I was actually locking up and I could feel the tyres starting to give out. So semi-slicks obviously would have got a lot further, but that's the nature of semi-slicks. So the lap times are up now. This does pop itself into second place, just behind the KTM. I think it's second place behind the KTM. The lap board will show the correct time, but I'm fairly sure the KTM was in the 7 minutes, wasn't it? So there you go. In terms of how this car is to drive, obviously I've got at the moment the M3 tops the list. So where would this car go in that list? That is the question. Also, I just found a spot where I could have made about half a second. I could have got this below 8 minutes. I think it can be done. But anyway. Or not. Oh, that was a little bit of lag and interesting. Anyway, let's so where do I think this car would go on the list? Oh, it's very close. It's a fantastic car. I think. Oh, this is a very close one. I think this car has to go. I'm going to have to put this car into second place. I think this car is going to go into second place, just behind the M3. The M3 just feels more. This is very driver oriented, but the M3 just felt a little bit more complete. No, it's very difficult between this and the M3. I think the M3 did though just feel a little bit more complete. This car's feels really, really good, but there's just something about the M3 that feels a tiny bit better, and I do mean the slimmest of margins here now. But this car will go into second place. There we go. So it goes ahead of the S1, behind the M3, but obviously ahead of the rest of them. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video, subscribe to the channel for more videos on the Nordschleife challenge. Leave a comment in the comments box below letting me know what you think of these videos. Do you agree with my driver score, so the driver ranking, as opposed to the lap time ranking? Let me know if you agree with that, and also if you have any cars that you wish to suggest. Just like I think most of these cars that I've driven so far, barring the Alfa and the Fiat 500, have all been requests. So if you have a car that you'd like me to try, let me know. If I've got it, I will try it. You can also find me on Patreon at www.patreon.com/ECGadget. Your support would be massively appreciated. It would really help me out. And also, you can find me on social media at ECGadget LP for both Twitter and Instagram. On Instagram, I do post pictures from these sessions, so you get to see some pretty nice pictures of cars. Well, some pretty nice pictures, not all of them. Some of them are a bit rubbish, but there you go. That is all from me, and I will see you next time in Assetto Corsa for another video on the Nordschleife challenge.